During Microsoft Build this week, just about every PC maker announced new Copilot Plus PCs. Copilot Plus is a combination of hardware and software that enables AI processing locally on device using neural processing units, or NPUs. This includes recall. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But as well, there's AI assisted art generation and editing and a bunch of other stuff that they're including. Now, those features only work if you have one of these new PCs with the NPU, and the NPU today only comes from Qualcomm, and it uses an ARM core alongside more traditional x86 architectures. Although AMD and Intel participated in this announcement, did we just witness a sea change in the CPU market?
Well, I think we kind of did. It is very interesting to see that the signature new features of these AI PCs are only available with ARM processors from Qualcomm. I don't think that's going to last. I'm just going to come right out and say it. Intel and AMD are not asleep at the wheel, and they absolutely. I know this is. I don't have any insider information on this, but I think it's safe to say they've got their own NPU-equipped processors ready to be launched at any day. And in fact, they may have already launched some of them, or quietly launched some of them, without talking too much about what the NPUs can do. But that being said, the feature here is all about, number one, on-device processing. Number two, tensor performance per watt. And number three, thin, light, and portable. And if you need those features, which basically everybody wants in a PC these days, there's only one company that's offering chips that's not named Apple, and that's Qualcomm. So if we look at the Snapdragon X processors that Qualcomm released in the fall, and we look at what they can do and the numbers that we're seeing out of those, well, it's pretty darn impressive. Now, I have to give a shout out to my colleague, Brian Shrout, here at the Futurum Group. The Signal 65 Labs has done quite a lot of testing of these processors and quite a lot of work to determine exactly what these numbers look like. And they look very, very impressive. There are articles all over the internet this morning digging into the numbers that came out of the Signal 65 Labs. And frankly, Qualcomm looks like they've got a major hit on their hands here. And when we say every PC builder, we mean every PC builder. The Copilot Plus PCs that were debuted here include companies that you may have heard of: Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft, Samsung. And we expect that these PCs are going to be available from essentially every OEM. And just like when you compare an Apple Silicon equipped MacBook to an Intel equipped MacBook, it is sort of a night and day in terms of battery life, heat, performance, etc. We're seeing reports that it's just like that when it comes to these PCs. For example, a Dell XPS 13 with the Snapdragon X Elite in it is just 2-3 times faster and more efficient than the similar machine with an Intel processor in it. At least those are the initial reports. And frankly, that's going to give companies like Dell a major, major thing to crow about in the market. They have been losing ground to Apple in the performance per watt, the thin and light, the cool instead of roasting your laptop market. They're going to be able to deliver machines that are absolutely competitive with Apple's on a hardware basis. Now, one thing I do have to call out, as noted by John Gruber over on the Apple fanboy side, is that it looks like every one of these PCs is equipped with a fan, which makes them actually more competitive, not with the MacBook Air, which is what everybody's talking about and competing with here, but the MacBook Pro, which offers much, much better sustained performance. So I think, well, just judging by what we can guess about the industry, I doubt that the Snapdragon X Elite and X Plus are that much ahead of Apple's M3 and M4 on a performance basis once you include a fan. I think that it's the fact that the MacBook Air doesn't have one that's allowing these systems to beat Apple at their own game. But even given that, the fact that we've got all the major PC OEMs trotting out machines that dramatically outperform everything they've ever made and are absolutely neck and neck or maybe even ahead of competing offerings from Apple at a similar price point is really quite remarkable. And frankly, I am waiting with bated breath to see what Intel and AMD do to compete in this space because so far, it looks like Qualcomm is way, way ahead.